Then we apply this concept into human body. Chinese say, because human body is part of the nature, so all the energy pattern, we copy the nature. To this nature, every life, one human beings or dog or cat or trees, every one of them is a small life of this whole universe. So we are part of the nature. And compared with the nature, this nature can live for billion years. Our lifetime is so short compared with the nature. Again, Chinese use human body. Chinese talk about there's a universe they call grand universe or grand heaven and earth. You talk about human body, you call small universe. So that's why Chinese say this is a heaven. This means sky, the heaven. This is called the earth, the sea bottom. So that's because the reason they consider Chinese consider the human body like a small universe. Then this body constructed by billions of tiny cells. And every cell has its own memory, has its own life. And all the DNA information of a life. But the cell, again, cell of the time is very short. For example, the skin cell, we know average age of a skin cell is about 28 days. Some parts of a blood cell, the blood cell constructed by different parts. Some parts only a couple of hours, then die. The body has to continue to produce it. Some other parts can live a couple of months. The same thing, entire body cell continue dying every 24 hours. That means the body has to reproduce the enough number of cells to balance it. This one we call metabolism. Actually, all this material is recycling. So 28 days compare your life. For example, you live 80 years old, 28 days is nothing. So that's why this one is called small universe. Then, if I use a Tai Chi Chuan as an example, beginning of Tai Chi Chuan movements, this position, the mind is so calm in the center, in the point, in the center of gravity, in a tiny point. So this one is called Wuji states. You should keep in the Wuji state until your mind is so calm before even you start Tai Chi Chuan. And after you become so calm, you start initiate the movements. When you initiate the movement, you can see this yin supporting the yang. This yang supporting the yin. Internal mind and breathing is yin. External manifestation is yang. Now you can see I move from Wuji state to yin and yang. Question, what makes me move from here to here? That's the Tai Chi. Then pretty soon you realize what makes me move from here to there is my mind. So that's why this mind is the Tai Chi when you apply it to human body. So this mind is a God of this heaven and earth. So this mind is going ultimate. I'm here, this mind, my mind can go to another galaxy instantly. There's no boundary. My mind can go to the yesterday, my mind can go to 10 years ago, my mind can go to the future. There's nothing can stop it. So what do you think? Is the mind energy? Or mind is a particle? How can we interpret the mind? And what's the difference of mind and the spirit? How come in the nature we call spirit, in the human body we call mind? All these things is ancient time in Chinese, the Taoist society, Buddhist society. They continue ponder, continue to try to understand this. Slowly they understand the mind is different from the nature spirit, because this mind is not truthful. Because human beings will create the whole matrix of human societies. Then from there, we are in the matrix. We keep ourselves away from the nature. So we become untruthful, and we have a mask on the face. Okay, so that's why to think about this clearly. They can see this mind is the God of the body. This mind controls entire body's life. This mind makes things happen. This mind creative. This mind can make me become a holy man. This mind can make me like a devil. From one person's mind, you can kill million people. The power of a mind, do not underestimate it. The questions, how can you control this mind? So from here, let's try to think. In 1996, January 23rd, scientists talk about we have two polarities of the body. Actually, we have two brains. The two brains connected by the spinal cord. The spinal cord is highly electrically conductive tissue. There's an upper brain, there's a second brain. This one think, this one have a memory. They formalize two polarity of a human body. But 2,000 years ago, Chinese already talked about this. Chinese talk about this called upper dantian. This is called lower dantian. This is called thrusting vessel. Thrusting, that means it goes through quickly. That means these two, there's no resistance among these two. Because spinal cord is highly electrically conductive. So that means physically you have two brains, in function actually it's one. They synchronize each other, almost like a positive and negative or north pole, south pole of a magnet. Cannot be separated. So they become two polarities. From there, let's try to trace back what it means called embryonic breathing. From this human body, you trace back all the way to the beginning of the life. That's what embryonic breathing talking about. They talk about go back to the beginning of your life, when your life just start to formalize. They trace back to what is the embryo it started. If you can do that, the mind has not been brainwashed yet. You are not in the matrix yet. If you can trace back that, you can reconnect with the nature. Then you can reopen the third eyes. You will start understanding this concept. Let's try to see. Let's analyze how a body